Welcome to my channel. My name is Nahal, and in this video I'm going to be doing a morning routine, stretch routine that you could do right when you come out of bed. So the first thing we usually do when we get out of bed is we want to make sure our spine is in alignment. If we're like turning our heads in a pillow or holding a pillow, our spine usually gets twisted. So the first thing we want to do is to align our spine and then continue with our practices so that each of our practices we are stretching it within the aligned spine. So let's start on our backs. You could actually do this in bed too if you like. So in this posture, you want to cactus your arms out to the side, bring your knees together, lift them up, and then just let them fall onto your left hand side. And we want to make sure that our right shoulder is on the ground and our left hand is pressing both the knees together to try to keep the knees together, because there's only 5 degrees of rotation in our spine on our lower backs, and we want to make sure that we're protecting it by keeping our knees right on top of each other, stacking them directly on top of one another, not scissoring the knees. And you can move the gaze to your right hand side. Just look at your arms for a little neck stretch in the morning as well. If we were sleeping on our pillows a little funny, might have just like twisted our necks a little bit. And this posture just helps to get everything back in alignment. I'm really focusing on our breath here. I'm noticing from the opening of your breath, more space is created between the rib cage. And if you want to create a little bigger twist, pressing the left elbow up, lifting the chest and turning it a little bit more to the right hand side. So it's like your left part of your chest and rib cage on the bottom is lifting up and inching forward to the left a little bit more. You'll feel more of a stretch on your hip area, and just breathe into it. Preferably breathing through your nose, but if you're feeling like there's bigger release, and exhaling through your mouth, and then when you feel that your breath is back to center, back to normal, then closing your mouth and resuming with your breath in the nose. Taking your left hand underneath your left outer edges of your left leg and help it come up to center and rock it from side to side, left and right. And whenever you're ready, cactusing your arms up or extending them out, whichever you like, and then just let them fall to your right hand side. And you can use your right hand to press on your knees to make sure that both the knees are stacked right on top of each other, because the lower back in this area only has 5 degrees of rotation, and the knees helping it stack it together prevents it from any injuries. And in the morning time, we're typically a little bit dehydrated, so we want to make sure we drink some water before this. Before any stretching that we do in the morning, always remembering to drink water to help lubricate the muscles and kind of inflate the muscles with fluids so as to make it more stretchy and malleable. Whereas when we do it with a dried up, shriveled muscles and then we pull it to stretch, it's much more likely for us to tear something. We don't want to do that first thing in the morning, or really ever, but especially not in the morning when we're stretching to have a better day. And so moving your neck to your left hand, just looking at it, and focus on your breath. And this might actually help anyone that has a bit of difficulty with bowel movements in the morning. It just helps to twist and turn and give you a cleaner release. Usually always starting the twist first on the left and then on the right is usually the direction of the colon, although there are some arguments depending on which branch of yoga you are speaking about. But I am of the branch that always starts on the left. That will help to relieve the bowels in the direction that it needs to go, out. Taking your hands underneath your right knee, making sure that your knees are right together, and then rocking from side to side. And we can do this just as we're in bed, just putting the feet down and kind of crisscrossing the left foot on top of the right and just shimmy it over to the left. So it's kind of like we feel a stretch onto our left side of our arms, of our legs, sorry, our hips. And begin focusing on our breath. So our left knee is kind of above the ground here, and that's okay. The stretch should really be coming from our hips. Coming back to center, releasing the left leg down, windshield wiping the knees left and right, observing how you feel. Taking the right leg, crossing it on your left leg, and then let it fall down to the left side. So you're feeling a stretch right along your hips. And focusing on your breath here. Whenever you're ready, bringing your legs back to center, uncrisscrossing them, and then shimmy your legs from left to right. As you're lying down here, bring the soles of the feet together and opening into butterfly pose. And this just kind of allows the inner thighs to stretch. And I would like you to do another pose on your upper body. So you're taking your right hand below your neck on the bottom, and you're taking the back of your hand to the back of your chest. So you're almost like doing a elbow and shoulder stretch here. So this is a very safe stretch to do while you're lying down. You are stretching basically the inner parts of your left shoulder and the outer edges of your right upper arm. And essentially, if you were doing this sitting down, your fingers would be clasping each other. So try to inch them as close together as possible. And begin focusing on your breath here. If your knees are starting to shake, please put some pillows underneath your knees to allow it to open. And whenever you're ready, releasing the top hand first, and then releasing the bottom hand, and just putting them by your side for a second, and just waving your fingertips, lifting them up, just kind of allowing some blood flow to come into your arms. And then flipping to the other side, so taking the back hand of your right arm to the back of your heart, trying to point the elbow down as much as possible, and then taking your left arm in the back of your neck and laying it flat, keeping the legs at the same butterfly pose, just the arms moving left and right. And seeing if you can try to inch your fingertips towards each other. And just begin to breathe here. This allows our shoulders and our chest to open first thing in the morning to meet the world with an open heart. You might notice here that your jaws are also releasing if there was any teeth clenching at night or any stress from the previous day taking on to the next day, that we kind of rinse ourselves clean before we start the day with a new and refreshed body and nervous system. And then releasing the palm of our hands, first the top, then the bottom, then laying both of the arms down by your sides, wiggling the fingertips, allowing some blood flow to come into your hands. And whenever you're ready, straightening out the left and the right leg and just shake it. All that Baddha Konasana, that butterfly pose, we were in there for a while. And so coming on, putting the soles of their feet down and then turning onto your right hand side, lifting up into a seated posture. And just kind of in your bed, sit up straight. And really focusing on opening the side body. So taking your arms out to the left and inhaling your right arm up and over to the left. And looking up the right armpit. So making sure that both your sit bones are on the floor. And if they're not, like lifting up a little bit more. So really making sure that the focus is the stretch of our side body first. This is a part of our body that doesn't get enough love and attention or normal movements throughout the day. And so it's really something you got to actively think about opening up. And it feels so good to do that. Especially first thing in the morning, you'll just feel so open. Inhaling and coming back to center. Inhaling the left arm up and over. And feeling the stretch of the left side of your body. And making sure you're breathing at all times. Whenever you're ready, coming back to center, inhaling and just noticing how your spine feels here. Taking the right arm to the left leg here, just doing a little upper stretch, looking over your left shoulder, and then come back to center, and then do the opposite side, looking to the right hand side, doing a gentle upper body stretch here, and whenever you're ready, coming back to center. Thank you so much for joining me in today's practice. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you would like to join me in an extended practice, you're welcome to join me online on Zoom. In the description below, there's more details on how to sign up, and do sign on to my newsletter for any upcoming classes. And if you would like to wear some earrings like the ones that I'm wearing, I'll show you a close-up, then welcome to also look on my website on the shop. Thank you so much for joining me in today's practice, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.